Miley Cyrus has a very popular song out now called Flowers. I'm pretty sure you've heard it by now, that tells women in the chorus that they don't need a man or a relationship in their lives because they can, as she puts it, buy their own flowers, hold their own hand, and love themselves better than any man can. Or maybe, just maybe, Miley, you have to do all those things yourself now because no man will.
I can buy myself flowers. I can hold my own hand.
You cannot hold your own hand. I'd like to talk about the message that this song from Miley Cyrus conveys to people. It's the modern self-love theme that's really popular nowadays. I think Oprah went on and on about it as well, where people, particularly women, convince themselves that they only need to love themselves and no one else, and that that's the answer to all of their relationship problems that they may have had in the past. They don't reflect on learning anything about why things didn't work out, perhaps. Maybe they had no boundaries. Maybe they weren't open and honest with themselves or other people. But no, they convince themselves with these infantile, empowering memes that they only need to care about what they want and nothing else. That was the problem the whole time in past relationships. In other words, make the other person invisible, because a person that doesn't exist can't hurt you next time, can they? This whole I don't need another person to be in a relationship with meme is telling women particularly, who are probably already hurt and confused from a real-life past relationship failure, that an avoidant and selfish, narcissistic relationship with themselves only, in their own heads, is the answer. Rather than, objectively speaking, modifying themselves for the better by having a better attitude, choosing more compatible people, for starters, but most importantly, reflecting on how they might relate to the next person more fairly and honestly so that both of them can get what they want and need. There's this line in the song just before the chorus that goes, "I started to cry, but then I remembered
I can buy myself flowers."
Which reveals to me that she doesn't miss the person she's singing about. She misses what he did for her. Namely, he bought her flowers. And now she remembers, oh yeah, hey, I can buy my own flowers. That's what love was for me. It's pretty shallow if you think about it. I think the modern Oprah-styled love yourself meme has spawned generations of spoilt narcissists, like Miley Cyrus seems to be, who take self-love quite literally, not figuratively, not metaphorically, so that rather than looking at their own behavior, they say, oh, boo-hoo, another relationship ended and made me feel bad. Oh, I know. I won't date real people next time. I'll date a fictional, perfect, imagined person. Me. Because I love me. I'm wonderful. I'm perfect. I am amazing. And best of all, I will never leave me. No matter how I act. What a relief. I'll never be hurt. She convinces herself now that I was never the issue, everyone else was. He was. Wow. You sold your adult problem with a 5-year-old's self-soothing strategy. Well done. Loser. Joking. Not joking. It's really unrealistic to convince yourself that I can give myself all the intimacy and touch of a real person in a tactile sense, in my fantasy world up here. But human, you may say. You're overthinking this. Miley's only saying that she can buy her own flowers, that she's free and independent now and doesn't need to rely on a man to buy her anything. But I would say to you, dear, that you're being a little dishonest here, because she goes on to say in the next words of her song that she can also hold her own hand too. So let's not pretend the message of this video isn't hiding the obvious, that Miley is alone, again, heartbroken, and using buying herself flowers and holding her own hand and basically having a relationship with herself and dating herself as a narcissistic coping strategy to avoid what she may have done wrong in failed relationships and not wanting to self-reflect to learn to ensure that maybe this won't happen again. Just watch the music video of this song. It shows Miley Cyrus jumping around her empty Hollywood mansion like a lunatic singing to herself. You know what would make this music video a bit more realistic? If her voice was echoing in the song because of how empty her mansion is now. You cannot love yourself in the way it's conveyed in this song. It is pretending that the effect of doing the intimate things another who once loved you did for you, like buying you flowers and holding your hand, can be done by you. The effect of it cannot. It's pretending that the effect of you doing it for yourself is the equivalent to, or let's be honest here, according to Miley, it is better than the way you can love her. Sorry, but it's not equivalent. This kind of deranged attitude is very, very common with career-driven, girl power chicks of the last couple of generations. I did a video about this delusional self-love trend where women are marrying themselves a while ago. Link here and below this video, where women are serious about this. They have ceremonies talking to themselves on the altar, marrying themselves. Amanda, do you take Amanda to be your wife? I do. And Amanda, do you take... It's deranged. Women are actually visualizing themselves as another person who is there in front of them on the marriage altar, in front of witnesses, marrying nobody. And people clap and applaud, and it's seen as progressive and positive rather than a psychological problem or an intervention or a therapist might be able to help her with. You cannot reciprocate loving yourself like another can or could.
I can buy myself flowers.
Look, let me hammer home just how stupid this is by illustrating the equivalent from a male point of view. I can make my own sandwich, but the experience is purely functional and it's very vanilla. The appreciation I feel when someone shows affection to me by making it for me, like the person I love, is completely different. Another example, I can talk to myself like this, but it's not a conversation. It's only in my head. Nothing comes back. It's simply narrating a story in my own head and entertaining myself. And then what? Do I pretend that it really happened? A conversation is really going on here? And if you do enjoy talking to yourself as if another person is really there, I'm sure a psychologist would be able to diagnose you with a disorder. Look, I could off, but that's not the real thing as making love to somebody. You get my point. Self-love is a coping mechanism. No, loving yourself alone in your head, in your imagination, like a child creating an imaginary friend so that you don't feel alone or vulnerable, it just seems like nothing but a coping strategy as an adult. It's an evasive coping strategy, in my opinion. It's an infantile response to some sort of trauma. Someone hurt me, and I never want to feel that way ever again, and so I'll create another person in my head that's the perfect lover? This song bugs me the same way In the City used to bug me back in the day. It paints an innocent and carefree image of a lifestyle that's, to me, delusional. I remember talking to women back in the day when this show was at its height of popularity, and all the chicks who loved the show were excusing it and saying, it's just entertainment. And I think similarly today, women who like this song are saying, I just like the rhythm and the music. I don't even listen to the lyrics. Or worse yet, they'll say, relax, human, you're reading too much into it. But am I? Am I? Look at Miley's life. Look at Andrew Tate's life. Look at the Kardashians' lives. And then look at how most people have their eyes and ears glued to these celebrities as entertainment. Remember, you are what you constantly do. And if you're constantly watching these people conveying these deranged messages and lifestyles, selling you this lifestyle, then it's no surprise to me why many of us have love lives that are difficult. Ask yourself, why do we have to do so much hard work in self-help today in such an opulent society for the most basic things like being good to each other, being able to relate to other human beings, knowing how to speak, how to be fair? Why are we playing games? Why can't we just relate to each other on a very basic level? Look, it's healthy to sit alone with yourself and reflect, take stock between relationships especially, and create your ethics and boundaries that serve you and the people you're trying to relate to. But this whole "I love myself and I don't need people to love" meme, literally taken, convinces the naive that if your love life is a broken record pattern of heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak, again and again and again, that's never your fault. But maybe it really is your fault. Let's be blunt, sometimes it is you. Your refusal to change is what's stopping you from better relationships. Like a lot of words out there today, people mean one thing, but they say another. I think the modern phrase of love yourself really means respect yourself and treat yourself well. I know this, I know. And you may think it's just semantics, but if you're not accurate with the words you use to drive yourself forward and motivate yourself, it's easy to get lost. You can like yourself and respect yourself and treat yourself better next time, but you can't have a relationship with yourself romantically, as this song is suggesting, with all of its flowers and dancings and conversations with only you there. Ask yourself this question. If you keep rolling the dice on relationships the same way over and over again, the same way you've been doing it for 5, 10, 20 years on autopilot, is your love life hopeless? Is love and dating hopeless? Or is your strategy hopeless? And what about your attitude and the way you go about relating to people? Or your stubbornness? Or your fears that you won't address? What's the real reason why, in the end, do you feel, like Miley, that there's no option left but to hold your own hand and buy your own flowers? So finally, I think the modern love yourself meme, at best, tries to convey respect yourself, which I always encourage people to do. I know that's what it's trying to say, but Miley Cyrus and many other narcissists want you to believe that it literally means date yourself. And why are these people left with believing that they can date themselves? Well, maybe because no one else will. Good to chat with you again, and thanks for watching this video till the end. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to and join the channel. It does help me out. And I'll talk to you in the next video or live stream. Later, guys. Bye.